Brother, there's a specific moment when regret hits her hardest, when she realizes you're not coming back. Not angry, not bitter, just genuinely moved on. She'll replay every moment she took you for granted, every text she left unread, every time she chose something temporary over something real. And that realization, it changes everything in her mind. But here's the truth you need to hear. You're not learning this to hurt anyone. You're learning this because your emotional freedom and inner peace matter more than any external validation. The Stoic path isn't about winning games or creating suffering. It's about mastering yourself so completely that other people's choices can't shake your foundation. This video reveals the psychological patterns and gives you the tools to stay centered in your power. Write, "I am the prize" below if you're ready to step into this level of self-mastery. Because what I'm about to show you will test if you really believe that, or if you're just saying it. Let me tell you something that most men discover too late. You think being reliable made you valuable? Wrong. The moment you became predictable, her mind filed you under a category that doesn't get priority attention. But the second you step back and redirect your focus, now you're a puzzle her brain can't stop trying to solve. And I need you to understand something crucial here. This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. This is about recognizing a fundamental truth of human psychology. We pay attention to what feels uncertain. We value what requires effort to understand. Think about it. When you were always available, always responding within minutes, always rearranging your schedule to fit hers, what message did that send? It told her subconscious that you had nothing else going on, that your life revolved around her availability. And here's the thing, brother, I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying it because recognizing this pattern is the first step to changing it. You weren't weak for caring. You were human. But now you're choosing to be something more. A man who understands his own worth. So what happens when you pull back? When you stop initiating every conversation? When you're not the one always suggesting plans? Her brain notices. And not in a passive way. It's 2 a.m. and she's scrolling through your social media for the third time this week, checking if you've posted anything. She clicks on your story, just a photo of you at the gym or working on a project. No heartbreak post. No cryptic messages about missing someone. Just you living your life. She closes the app, opens it again 10 minutes later, checks one more time. That's not her being obsessive. That's her mind trying to close a loop that you've left open. You'll start seeing the behavioral shifts in real time. She initiates conversations now. Her texts get longer, more thoughtful. She brings up shared memories, inside jokes, anything to re-engage you. Remember when we... Or that reminds me of the time. She's reaching into the past, trying to rebuild a bridge to the present. And brother, I need you to hear this clearly. This response isn't calculated on her part. It's instinctive. When something that was constant suddenly becomes absent, our minds go into overdrive trying to understand why. But here's where it gets dangerous. Here's where most men lose everything they've built. They see her reaching out and they think, finally, she sees my value. And they respond like someone who's been waiting by the door all day. Within 2 minutes of her text, they're typing a paragraph explaining where they've been, what they've been doing, why they haven't reached out. Brother, if you do this, you just handed back all your power. You confirmed that nothing has actually changed. You're still the same man who drops everything for her attention. Let me show you what the mistake looks like in detail because I need you to see it coming before it happens. She texts, "Hey stranger," at 11 p.m. It's casual, it's light, it's designed to seem like she's just being friendly, and within seconds you feel that dopamine hit. Your phone lights up with her name, and suddenly your heart rate increases. You pick up the phone, you start typing. "Hey, I've been good, just been really focused on work and hitting the gym. How have you been?" Stop right there. Do you see what just happened? You explained yourself. You justified your absence. You gave her a detailed report of your activities like you owed her an update. And worse, you turn the conversation back to her with a question, which signals that you're ready to re-engage on her terms. Brother, that's not strength. That's the same pattern dressed up in gym clothes and work ambitions. Or here's another version. She posts a photo with another guy, doesn't tag him, doesn't explain who he is, just leaves it there for you to see. And within 60 seconds, you're liking the photo, trying to seem cool and unbothered. Maybe you even comment something casual. Looks fun. You think you're demonstrating confidence. You're actually demonstrating that you're watching, you're affected, and you're trying to manage her perception of you. That's not indifference. That's investment pretending to be detachment. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that I want you to really absorb. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What does that mean in practical terms? It means when she sends that 2 a.m. text, you don't respond immediately. Not because you're playing a game, but because you're genuinely busy living a life that matters to you. When she posts that photo, you don't like it within seconds because you're not monitoring her social media like it's your job. When she says, "We need to talk," you don't drop everything and call because your peace and your schedule have value. That's Stoicism. Not the philosophy in a book, the weapon in your hands. It's the difference between knowing what to do and actually doing it when emotions are running high. Now let's talk about what happens next, because this is where things get really interesting. When your absence doesn't break you, when your silence isn't just temporary, she shifts strategy completely. The testing phase begins. And brother, you need to understand what's coming because this is designed to break even the strongest men. Picture this. It's Thursday night. You haven't talked in 2 weeks. You're at home, maybe reading or watching something, genuinely content. Suddenly your phone buzzes. She's posted a story. You see it's her at a bar, laughing with some guy you don't recognize. She doesn't tag him, doesn't explain, just leaves it there. And within seconds, you feel it. That spike in your chest. That urge to text something casual like, "Looks fun," just to let her know you saw it. To prove you're unbothered. Stop, right there. That's the test. And if you respond in any way, she just learned everything she needed to know. You're still watching, you still care. Nothing has actually changed. You're just on good behavior. She's not necessarily being manipulative here. I need you to understand that. She's trying to figure out if your detachment is genuine or if it's a strategy to get her attention. Her brain needs to know, is he really over me or is this an act? So she creates scenarios designed to trigger a reaction. If you react emotionally, whether that's jealousy, anger, or rushing to reassure her, she learns that she still controls your emotional state. And brother, when someone knows they can easily influence how you feel, respect begins to fade. Let me give you another scenario because I want you to see the pattern. She sends a text at midnight. "I miss us." 3 words. Perfectly crafted to hit you in the chest. Most men read that, feel the dopamine flood, and respond within seconds. "I miss you too. Can we talk?" And just like that, the test is over. She wasn't saying she wants you back. She was checking if you're still emotionally available, and you just confirmed, yes, nothing has changed. You're still the same man who will drop his boundaries the moment she shows a hint of vulnerability. The Stoic response. You might not respond at all that night, not because you're being cold, but because it's midnight and you're asleep like a man who has his life together. Or if you do respond, it's measured. I appreciate you sharing that. No explanation, no matching her emotional intensity, no immediate availability. You acknowledge her humanity without abandoning your boundaries. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." You know what that means? Stop trying to predict what her text means. Stop analyzing whether she's sincere or testing you. Stop living in your head about what might happen next. Respond to reality, not to your interpretation of reality, she texted. You saw it. You responded with dignity. That's all. The meaning she assigned to it, that's her work, not yours. But here's what often surprises men in these moments. True detachment doesn't come with hostility. You're not being cold or dismissive. You're centered enough that her actions don't dictate your emotional state. Think of yourself standing by a lake on a windy day. The surface ripples and shifts, reacting to every gust of wind. But below the surface, the depths remain completely still, untouched by the chaos above. That's the state you're aiming for. Now, if her tests don't shake you, she shifts strategy again, and this is where things get really interesting. Suddenly, she becomes the version of herself you wished she'd been all along. She texts more frequently. Her messages have substance. She makes herself available in ways she never did before. Maybe she changes her appearance, knowing you'll see her. Maybe she brings up your interests, your goals, things she barely paid attention to when you were pursuing her. It's Wednesday afternoon and your phone lights up. Not just a hey this time, it's a full message. I was thinking about what you said about building your business, and I came across this article I thought you'd find interesting. She's putting in effort now. Real, visible effort. She's showing up in ways that feel genuine. And brother, this is the moment where you need the most clarity. Because the question isn't whether her effort is real. The question is, why is it happening now? Here's what I need you to understand. If she's only making this effort because you pulled away, you're seeing a reaction, not a transformation. Real change comes from internal desire, not external pressure. When someone changes because they want to keep you, that change evaporates the moment they feel secure again. But when someone changes because they've genuinely grown and recognized their own patterns, that change lasts. So how do you know the difference? Time and consistency. Don't evaluate her based on what she does this week or even this month. Watch the pattern over 3 months, 6 months. Does she maintain this energy? Does she show up with this effort even when you're not pulling away? Or does she relax back into old patterns the moment she feels you're re-engaged? Epictetus taught that we should focus only on what's within our control. You can't control whether her change is genuine or temporary, but you can control how you evaluate it. You can control whether you maintain your standards and boundaries while you observe. You can control whether you make decisions from clarity or from the emotional high of finally being pursued. But here's the trap that keeps men stuck for years. The moment you start feeling powerful again, the moment you think, I've got this figured out, she's going to do something that makes you question everything. And what you do in that moment, that determines if you've truly changed or if you've just been performing strength. Let me paint you the exact scenario. You've been strong for weeks. You've maintained your boundaries. You haven't chased. You've been living your life, focused on your goals. You feel solid. And then one night, she shows up, not with a text, in person, maybe at a place you both used to go, maybe at an event where mutual friends are present. She looks good, she's warm, she initiates conversation, and at some point in the night, she touches your arm and says something like, I've really missed this, missed us. Everything in you wants to lean in. Every cell in your body is screaming to close the distance, to forgive everything, to go back to how things were. And brother, this is it. This is the moment where most men fold, because they've been strong, but they haven't yet built something stronger than their loneliness. They've been disciplined, but they haven't yet filled their life with purpose deep enough to outweigh the comfort of familiar connection. Here's what you do. You feel it all, the longing, the hope, the desire to reconnect. You don't suppress it or pretend you don't feel it, but you don't act on it either. You stay present. You can be kind, you can be warm, you can even say, I've appreciated our time too. But you don't make promises. You don't invite her back into your life right there in that moment. You give it space. You give yourself time to get out of the emotional intensity and evaluate from clarity. Because here's what she doesn't know yet. While you're staying calm, while you're holding your boundary, you're also watching. You're gathering data. Is this a moment of nostalgia, or is this genuine desire to rebuild something better? Is she here because she misses who you were together, or because she's finally ready to match your growth? And regardless of the answer, you're not making decisions from desperation anymore. You're making decisions from abundance. Not because you have other options lined up, but because you've finally built a life that you don't want to compromise for the wrong connection. Let me tell you something that might shift everything for you. The strongest position you can occupy isn't when you're proving your worth to someone. It's when you're so grounded in your own value that their validation becomes irrelevant. Not because you don't care about connection, but because you finally understood that your peace matters more than any single relationship. Think about what you've been building these past weeks or months. Maybe you've been more consistent with your fitness. Maybe you've made real progress on a project or goal that matters to you. Maybe you've deepened friendships or discovered new interests. All of that? That's your foundation. And the moment you compromise that foundation to go back to a situation that didn't serve you, you're not just losing her potential, you're losing yourself. Marcus Aurelius faced armies and political chaos, yet he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Her pulling away wasn't an obstacle. It was the catalyst for your growth. Her testing you isn't a problem. It's revealing your strength. Her potentially coming back isn't the victory. Your ability to evaluate it clearly and choose what serves your highest good, that's the victory. Now let's talk about what happens long term, because this is where most advice stops and you're left wondering, okay, but then what? 3 scenarios typically unfold, and you need to be prepared for all of them. Scenario 1. She genuinely steps up. Her effort isn't just a reaction to your absence. It's sustained. It's consistent. She's not just trying to get your attention back. She's actually doing her own work, addressing her own patterns, showing up as a better version of herself. If this happens, brother, you have a choice. Not from fear of losing her, but from genuine assessment of whether this connection aligns with who you're becoming. You can choose to rebuild something, but you're doing it from a position of strength, not need. Scenario 2. She moves on. She accepts the distance. She finds someone else, or simply redirects her energy elsewhere. And brother, I need you to hear this. That's not a loss, that's clarity. She's given you the gift of knowing that this connection wasn't built to last. You're now free to invest your energy in connections that are mutual, that are effortless, that don't require you to pull away to be valued. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." She's not rejecting you. Reality is revealing truth. And truth, even when it hurts, is always better than living in illusion. Scenario 3, and this is the one most men don't prepare for. She hovers. She doesn't fully commit to stepping up, but she doesn't fully let go either. She texts occasionally. She watches your stories. She keeps you as an option while she explores other possibilities. And brother, this is where you need the strongest boundary, because this scenario is designed to keep you in limbo. It's breadcrumbing, whether she's conscious of it or not. And your response needs to be clear. You don't accept partial investment anymore. You can communicate this kindly. "I appreciate you reaching out, but I'm looking for something more consistent. I'm not interested in casual check-ins. When you're ready for something real, let me know." And then you actually mean it. You're not waiting by the phone hoping she chooses you. You're living your life, and if she eventually shows up with genuine commitment, you'll evaluate it then. But here's what all 3 scenarios have in common. In every single one, you've won. Not because you got the girl or because you walked away like some action hero. You've won because you've built something inside yourself that no external circumstance can touch. You've developed the ability to maintain your dignity regardless of how others treat you. You've learned to choose yourself even when it's uncomfortable, and that's the foundation of everything else in your life. Let me shift gears here and talk about the internal work, because everything we've discussed means nothing if you're not simultaneously building your inner world. The external situation with her, that's just the training ground. The real transformation happens in how you relate to yourself. Every morning, I want you to do something simple but powerful. Remind yourself what's actually within your control. You control your thoughts, you control your actions, you control your character. You don't control her feelings, you don't control her choices, you don't control her timeline. That's not resignation, that's liberation. Because once you truly accept what you can't control, you stop wasting energy trying to influence it. You redirect that energy toward what you can actually shape: yourself. Your body is the first domain you control. Are you training it? Are you respecting it with proper nutrition and sleep? Because when you're consistent with physical discipline, you prove to yourself daily that you're a man who keeps his word. That confidence radiates into every other area of your life. You walk differently, you speak differently, you show up differently. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you've built genuine self-respect through action. Your mind is the second domain. What are you feeding it? Are you reading books that challenge you? Are you journaling your thoughts to gain clarity? Are you practicing some form of mindfulness to create space between stimulus and response? Your mind is either your greatest ally or your worst enemy. When it's untrained, it will obsess over her text messages, create stories about what everything means, and keep you trapped in anxiety. But when you train it, you can observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. You can feel emotions without acting on them impulsively. That's mastery. Your purpose is the third domain. What are you building beyond relationships? What gets you out of bed with energy? What are you working toward that matters to you? Because, brother, when you're genuinely obsessed with your purpose, you don't have mental space to obsess over someone else's validation. This isn't about ignoring relationships. It's about having a life so full that any single person's presence or absence doesn't define your entire emotional state. Let me be really practical here. Tomorrow morning, you're going to wake up and you're going to have a choice. You can check if she viewed your story. You can look at her profile to see if she's posted anything. You can draft a text that you'll delete 17 times. Or you can do the thing you said you'd do. You can go to the gym, you can work on your project, you can call that friend, you can read that chapter. Small choice, right? Except it's not. That choice, repeated daily, is the difference between a man who transforms and a man who just consumed inspirational content and went back to old patterns. Most men will watch this video, feel motivated for maybe 24 hours, and then go right back to checking their phone every 5 minutes. Don't be most men. The fact that you're still here, that you've listened this far, tells me you're different. You're not looking for quick fixes. You're looking for genuine transformation, and that requires you to be honest about what you're actually willing to do. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Next week, you're going to see her with someone else, or you're going to hear through mutual friends that she's moved on, and you're going to feel that sharp pain in your chest. You're going to question if you did the right thing. You're going to wonder if maybe you should have tried harder, responded faster, been more available. That's normal. That's human. The question isn't whether you'll feel it. The question is, will you act on it? Will you text her when you see that photo? Will you reach out to explain yourself? Will you try to prove that you're still valuable? Or will you feel the pain, acknowledge it, and keep walking your path? Because, brother, that moment right there, that's where boys become men. That's where emotional reactions transform into intentional responses. That's where you prove to yourself that you meant everything you're learning right now. Seneca wrote something that I carry with me. No man is free who is not master of himself. You're building that mastery right now. Not perfectly, not without setbacks, but you're building it. And 6 months from now, whether she's in your life or not, you're going to look back at who you were today and barely recognize him. You'll have built mental strength that no circumstance can shake. You'll have developed standards that you won't compromise. You'll have created a life that you're genuinely proud of. And here's what nobody tells you about reaching that place. She might reach out then, 6 months from now, a year from now, when you've genuinely moved forward, when you're actually living well, when you're with someone new or simply content being alone. She'll text, "I've been thinking about us," or "I made a mistake," or "Can we talk?" And you know what the scariest part is? You might not even care anymore. Not because you hate her, not because you're bitter, but because you've built something so solid within yourself that her presence or absence has become just background noise. You see her name on your phone, and instead of that rush of emotion, you just feel neutral. Maybe even a little curious about why you cared so much before. That moment when you realize you're genuinely indifferent, that's when you know you've won. Not the game with her, the battle with yourself, the fight to become a man who doesn't need external validation to feel complete. The journey to build internal peace that no relationship can give you and no breakup can take away. But you're not there yet, and pretending you are, that's the final trap that keeps men stuck for years. So be honest with yourself. You're in process, you're building, you're learning. Some days you'll be strong, some days you'll want to reach out and you'll have to actively stop yourself. Both are okay. Progress isn't linear, growth isn't perfect. What matters is the overall direction. So here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready. Right now. Take out your phone, go to that text conversation or that social media profile, and don't look at it. Delete the app if you need to. Block the number if that's what it takes. Not forever, just for the next 7 days. Give yourself 1 week of complete distance. No checking, no monitoring, no keeping tabs. Use that mental energy you would have spent analyzing her every post and put it towards something that actually serves you. Sign up for that class. Start that project. Reach out to that friend you've been meaning to call. Do one thing today that moves you toward the man you want to become. And as you do this, I want you to remember something crucial. You're not doing this to make her regret losing you. You're not doing this to prove anything to her. You're doing this because you've finally recognized that you deserve a life you're proud of. You deserve connections that are mutual. You deserve peace that isn't dependent on someone else's choices. This journey you're on, it's not about her. It never was. She was just the catalyst, the mirror that showed you where you were giving away your power, where you were settling, where you were compromising your own needs hoping someone else would finally see your value. But you don't need her to see it anymore. You see it, and that's enough. Before you go, I want to ask you something. What's one action you're taking today to build your inner strength? Maybe it's finally hitting the gym. Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off. Maybe it's simply maintaining your boundary with someone who doesn't value your effort. Whatever it is, share it in the comments. Let's build this community of men who choose growth over comfort, who choose dignity over desperation, who choose themselves without apology. And if this video served you, if it gave you even one piece of clarity or one spark of motivation, subscribe to Psychology for Life. We're building something different here, not just content you consume and forget. A brotherhood of men transforming their lives through action. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's continue this journey together. Your transformation starts now. Not when she comes back, not when circumstances change, right now. With the choice you make in the next 5 minutes. Most men will close this video, feel inspired briefly, then go right back to old patterns. You're not most men. Prove it, not to me, to yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay grounded, stay true.